guess we're going to find out just exactly how good Finn is in the adverse conditions. Now, I'm coming from I'm coming south on the 37 out of Nugget towards Dease Lake, and the weather conditions here are pretty bad. It's minus 8, and we have about 1.5 foot of snow. This section of road, I've just been told, is very snowy in places, very curvy and very up and downy. So this will be exciting. My current speed is stau. It's slow. Langsome. It's langsome is what it is. Because I just came into Nugget and I fueled up at Nugget, because old school rule is, if you see a fuel stop, put some fuel in. So I've now got a full tank and I've got 70 litres on my roof rack. So assuming I'm not stuck out here for weeks on an end, I should be alright. Just have a heat and power, if nothing else. I've got all the food on the planet. Dog is fed and watered. I've got all the sleeping blankets, and Finn is currently tip top. So I'm going to jingle on here now. I've got 4 hours to make, and apparently the snow is bad for the first sort of hour and a half, but the road at the front here says open, and I bumped into a chap who came out, and I just asked him what's it like, and he said he's come all the way up from Prince George, which is about a 12-hour drive, and he said it's not so bad once you get past the first sort of hour and a bit. But as is usually the case with high mounted lights, this one is particularly rubbish. I'll show you here at helping me find the road. So it's off at the moment, and what I'm using is my is sort of main beam, which is a little lower down now. I was planning on mounting the laser lamps Super Jimmy in the grill there. What was it going to get? A triple R 1250. And it's going to be, I'm going to mount it in the front of the grill on the Defender here. That's the plan. Unfortunately, the Arctic trip beat me to it, and I didn't have the time, do not have the time, continue to not have the time to install it. So, and this beam at the top is not exactly what we wanted. It's not the steady light, as I think I've mentioned before. It's just this random Facebook thing, which has been helpful on the bare roads, but is not helpful here. Anyway, so this is the plan. I've got it in snow and gravel mode, because I came to fuel up at Nugget. Oh, that's where I was going to tell you a story. So I came to fuel up at Nugget, and I saw the turn. I wasn't going terribly fast, only about 60 or 70 kilometers an hour. I can't tell you what that is in English, because my speedo gauge doesn't speedo in English, so I don't actually know, and I can't convert it. I know it's 1.6, but it's not fast. It wasn't fast. Anyway, I put my brakes on to come to to turn into the service station, and promptly passed it by a fairly considerable margin. And so my experience is that the tyres aren't very good in this kind of slippy snow, and it is slippy. And the other thing I've got to tell you is that, despite it being in grass, gravel and snow mode, there comes a limit when the grass, gravel and snow mode can't keep up. Now, I must be careful in what I say here. I don't know that I did slide past the entrance. What I can tell you is that I couldn't stop for the entrance. Now, I think hopefully you'll have watched my previous video while I was up batting along in the Dempster Highway, and I could tell you there that what happened was that the wheels don't actually lock up, but they do take a much longer time to sort of steady up, if you see what I mean. And I think that's the case here too. I don't think I actually slid past it. I don't think I was at all. But what I can tell you is that my anticipated stopping distance with the new fancy all snangled grass, gravel and snow 500 micro milliseconds or whatever it is, sensory detect, did not stop me in the expected level of time. Not that it's an issue, it just means that I've got to learn that the stopping distance for grass, gravel and snow is is a bit further along. Now, the other thing I've got to tell you is that the gear shift for this vehicle is too far away to make this kind of mountain driving comfortable. So Land Rover, dearly beloved as it were, Top Banana, JLR Corporation, pay attention to what Firth is about to tell you. I understand that you believe that paddle shifts are for sporty peeps, but the reality is that paddle shifts are outstanding mechanisms of rapid gear changing in weather conditions when you don't want to take your hands off the wheel. I've got both hands on my wheel here now for a reason. So listen, boyo, and what's his name, Mr. McGovern, do pay attention. Put paddles on the Defender. Either that or move the gear shift, one or the other, because it's no good where it is. You're up and down about 8 gears. It's an 8 gear transmission, as you know, the ZF 8-speed, and this one's the P400, so it's got the big box in it. And in order to get any sort of engine braking, you've got to dump a bunch of gears, and I mean like 3 or 4 maybe. So that would be much easier to do if I didn't have to take my hands off the steering wheel to negotiate curves like this and then change gear and all the rest of it. So hopefully Land Rover will pick up this very important public service announcement and will offer a sort of a paddle attachment. Oh, there's more hill here now. Now I've just bumped through. What have I bumped there? I've bumped 4 gears to come down here, look. And I can tell you that the engine braking on this car is non-existent. Might as well throw Jip out the back and tell it go backwards. Paddle shift would be oh, that's what I was saying. So the clock spring and the platform's here, so we know that it'll take it. All we need is the little flappy doodles, now there's a bit of a. I've been told here to go Stow or Stow Langsam because somewhere down here is a truck that couldn't stop on an hill, and it's apparently in. I don't think it's upside down, but it's not where it's meant to be, that's for certain. Okay, so I've just pulled a 4-ton van up a big bank, basically, is what I've done. And the performance was outstanding. This is a big truck trying to come up here with chains on, and he's doing relatively alright, but he's taking up some of the space I need to be. Go on, get up. There you are. That'll do it. Crunchity, crunchity. Away you go. Tremendous amount of noise here. But I've just pulled that big van up this hill here, and it was extraordinarily slippy here. Now you can tell what I've done here is that this is the truck that's been parked up, and I'm going down this bank here, and I turned round at the bottom, which is when I came up past the thing and pulled it up. It was a 3.5-ton van, and it was fully loaded, and I put it into grass, gravel and snow, into low range. I didn't even put on low traction control and just steady away with the throttle. What I didn't like is that there's not a lot of it wanted me to set off in 3rd low, which is presumably what 2nd low used to be, but because the ratios are so much closer together, that means that we've been having difficulty because I didn't want to put it into drive because I wanted the control over the gears, but 3rd low is very low, and it's soon, because the gears are so close together, it's soon revved up to sort of 3,500 RPM, which is the slipping zone. Now the traction control malarkey that sort of looks after all of that actually did a pretty good job, to be fair, of looking after all of that, and even though it was quite high revving, there wasn't that much in the way of slip. I wish these wipers would shut up. And so I'm actually very impressed with the performance of this vehicle in the very, very slippy conditions with the vehicle. So to know that even with the tyres are not winter tyres, I mean, I know the 3-peak mountain snowflake or whatever they want to call it, but oh, for Pete's sake, do you have to make so much noise? Now I just better make sure that the heater vent is on my feet, because what's happening here, you see, is the snow is hitting the window, and it's freezing up, basically. It's sort of melting, and that's causing the wind chill to freeze it on the window again, and away you go. All sorts of drama going on. So, overall view of that is it's minus many outside. It's very snowy. It's very slippy, and with a 3.5 ton thing behind us, we were well, we're golden, as Slade would say. Very impressed. Couldn't find the low traction launch. Found out where I put it, or where it was and where it is now, but it took a little bit more finding than it would be nice, Land Rover, if you put that function in the TRS settings. And I'm surprised that it didn't. Normally when I set off in grass, gravel and snow and put it in park, it asked me if I want to set off in low traction launch, and it didn't do this time when I actually needed it, which was very inconvenient. But whatever, there you go. So I'm going stow down the hills here. This is going to take me forever, isn't it, to get here? 4 hours. It's 4 hours of good driving, and this is not good driving, is it? Anyway, so that's that. If you don't hear if you don't hear from me ever again, you know what's happened. I'm upside down in an HG somewhere. But otherwise, we're all tip top. Panicky not. Jingle on and bother on, as they say back home.